Welcome back to Couch River Restoration. What you see here is my junk counter that I have been dreaming of turning in to a tea counter for quite some time. So we began this project first by my husband ripping off our old countertop and measuring out the space. We bought a butcher block countertop at Home Depot, but of course we have to cut it to size. So he measured out the space and then gave me a lesson on how to use this skill saw. And all went well. I still have my fingers. It was a good lesson, and I feel confident that I can use it again in the future. I had decided that I wanted the butcher block not to just be on the top of the countertop, but also to waterfall off onto the side as well. So we had to cut those pieces accordingly. We had to improvise our idea also, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. After everything was cut, I went over it with a belt sander, and also will switch to my rotary sander to get it all smooth and ready for seal. I used I think it was a 320 grit sandpaper in order to just get it really soft before I sealed it. At first, when we were planning this, we wanted the top and the side to meet at an edge, but that didn't quite work out, and I wasn't going to keep cutting down boards. So we went ahead and compromised and decided that the top would just sit on top of the sideboard. And my husband attached the counter using liquid nails. I do not have a video of him attaching the countertop because he did it while I was gone. Once the countertop was attached with the liquid nails, I used this oil, this butcher block oil, to seal the countertop. This butcher block oil is called Watco, I believe. I think that's how it's pronounced. And I got it at Lowe's. And I wore gloves, and I did the pour and wipe method. I also did the dip and wipe method occasionally. I just used a clean rag and wiped it in. And that was it. You also need to give it like 24 hours to dry in between coats. According to the directions, it was like apply, let it dry for 24 hours, sand it down with a fine grit sandpaper, like 400 and up, and then wipe down all the debris and reapply your oil. And so that is what I did. I have had very good luck with it. I like this oil because it doesn't change the color of the wood too much. I knew that I wanted more of a natural wood or a lighter wood, so I didn't want to stain it. But this oil is really nice in the fact that it just kind of deepens and accentuates the wood. So this is what I was talking about when I said that you wait the 24 hours and then sand it. So I sanded it off, wiped it all down, and then reapplied my oil like I was saying. It's definitely necessary to wear protective gloves when using this oil. The oil is a little runny, so be aware of that also. It also has a very strong smell, so I suggest working in an area where you can open windows. After I was done with the top, I wanted to create a nice finished look by putting some trim in, so we measured it and cut the trim, and my husband attached that also using the liquid nails. Now that the trim is attached, I'm going to go ahead and use that same butcher block oil, and I'm going to just use the dip and wipe method to apply that onto the trim so that there is a seamless finish between the counter and the trim. Here is the unboxing of the tin backsplash that I ordered off of Amazon.com. I got just enough to do the back counter and then also inside of the cabinet, and it was about $63 for that. I did end up having to buy another box so that I could do the side. Check this out. So my husband had to pull out the plugs a little bit so that the backsplash would fit, and watch this part where he nearly catches himself on fire. So that was funny, and I had to add that in. So he attached the backsplash using a liquid nails, and it worked really well. We did have to use a couple finish nails in a couple areas just to make sure that it was 100% secure. Like I said, it did take 2 boxes of this to do that section. I have some left over that I think I'm going to go ahead and use inside of my laundry room / utility room as well. Try to shield your eyes from my messy kitchen and cheap countertops. I have been thinking about painting my countertops. I've been looking at some tutorials, and it might be in the works. Let me know what you think about that. I was thinking about painting them black. there was a peek at the inside of the cabinet that I didn't get a video of my husband attaching. We decided to use a piece of metal trim in order to finish off the backsplash so it looked more put together. So we measured it out. My husband used a grinder to cut it. We attached it with liquid nails. It attached great. We did have to use a wet rag to wipe off the excess glue, but there's my before and here's my after. I apologize for the ADD that was so prominent in this video. I'm just sort of all over the place. I think it's the weather. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so it's crazy here. But this is it. I love my tea counter. I use it every day. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.